I feel like this was a really bad month, especially because I started reading and I would not finish the books, and I don't know if I want to completely DNF them or just put them on hold for a little bit and see if I can finish. Hello readers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the disgrace, the awful, the horrendous month of June, reading wise, that was for me. Last month I managed to read I think 11 books, and I was just beating myself up and being awful to myself, being like, I didn't read enough, I'm awful. This month I only read 9 books, so obviously I am not too happy about that. And also I'm kind of trying to chill about it because it was a crazy month for me in so many aspects. There were tons of things going on. Yes, and also, Black Lives Matters came into the month really early on, and I just kind of stopped all of my reading plans. All of my TBR went out the window. I just couldn't care less about a lot of the readathons that I was going to participate in. I ended up kind of halfway participating, kind of not. Because of that, I just kind of decided to put my energy into other things that I thought were more important. And so let's talk about the books that I actually read this month. I think there were some really good ones, I do have to say that I've been awful at keeping up on Goodreads. I do, every single time that I finish a book, I do put it in there, but while I am reading it, the dates are not accurate anymore. But the first book that I read, that I talked about in a blog, is A Face Without a Heart by Rick R. Reed. This was supposed to be like a modern retelling of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, so I was obviously in and I really wanted to read that. The first half of the book, in my opinion, was really bad. I didn't like certain things that were happening. For example, I felt like suicide was romanticized. I didn't enjoy one of the characters. He was just an awful human being. But the other half I was in there for. Kind of the morality of it all. What was considered sin back there with The Picture of Dorian Gray, was obviously nowadays is a little bit more normalized and a little bit more free. I guess people are kind of a tiny bit more free to do whatever they want. So I was curious to see what this author would do with that. Like, how could you bring all of that was completely bad and wrong at that time, bring it into the modern days? How would you make it still be such a big thing? And I think the author did great the other half of the book, but for the first part, I was kind of even expecting a bit of romance, and it just didn't happen. So yes, I don't know. The next book, actually, I got this sent to me, When No One Is Watching by Linathi Makanda. I believe I love this. I, again, ramble about this in one of my blogs for a while because I really enjoyed this book. It's a short collection of poems that were so great. It's been compared a lot to Milk and Honey. I totally see why, but I kind of enjoy this one a little bit more than Milk and Honey. It made me feel really great after reading it. I felt like happier and more empowered. I don't know. It's just one of those books that I think, just give it a read. It's just, I think you will enjoy it. I read Aria of Galvanize. This took a while to read. Definitely longer than I was expecting to spend on this book. I thought it was going to be a shorter read. It wasn't. It was quite a long book, but I did really enjoy it. I love this so much. It's a dystopian. We follow Incarnate 7 or I7. I have a whole review. It's going to be up there. I filmed, edit, upload, everything is ready to go, but I really enjoyed this book. It's got some really interesting topics, a strong AF female that's kicking ass, a ton of mystery, a ton of politic intrigue, because you are obviously on the future. Everything is destroyed. Everything is already, gone to hell. So it's interesting because she has a little bit of visions into the past of how we got to be here. The tech is pretty cool. Just the whole thing and the whole mystery of it all, I think was really interesting, and I did really enjoy it. So I was not too mad about spending a little bit more extra time with that book. The next thing that I read is Fire Wings by Wren Handman. I have a full review on this. Again, I really enjoyed this. except for the romance. The romance, I think, was the worst part of the book. The rest of it, we have quantum computers, we have a teenage girl who is really into diving into these virtual reality created by quantum computers, so you obviously have the choice to put senses. So if you die in the virtual reality game, you can feel a ton of stuff, a lot of questions, because we have an IA, which is an artificial intelligence, but it is so realistic when you're in there that you start to question gender, loss for IAs, things like that. So, and things that I think will be actually dealing with in the future. So it was an interesting read. I didn't enjoy the romance. I think it was just really badly done. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Does this even count? It was the shortest poem ever, but it was my first taste of Poe's writing, and I loved it. I just love this kind of really dark, mysterious writing style. It reminds me a lot of Stephen King. I love that. I read The Life Siphon by Kathryn Sommerlot. This is the first book in a trilogy. I really enjoyed these. I was really loving reading these, and then halfway through it, I just stopped reading. Like, I just couldn't care less, and I just stopped reading. I don't know. It was a weird month like that for me, but I did really enjoy it. This is definitely a YA. We follow a group of people that have to steal something because the queen demands that they go and steal, because there's this thing that's kind of sucking up all of the power around, and all of the nature is dying, and so obviously if the land dies, the economy goes to hell, everything goes to hell. So we follow this group of people trying to go into the other territory and steal that, which is the Life Siphon. And then from there's a ton of plot twists and things. I did really enjoy it, and I will be continuing this series. It's hard for me to find a YA that I enjoy anymore. I think I'm getting old. But I did really like this one. I read Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is the book number 1 from the Wayward Children series. I did really like these. It's not like on top of my list. I know a lot of people really, really love these, and they put it like really up there. I like this, but it was not that huge of a deal for me. I will definitely continue it. A lot of people describe this as being super beautiful. I think it's a little bit more darker and mysterious than other people give it credit for here on BookTube, and I definitely want to continue. These are really small, short, sweet books, you know? So I'm definitely looking forward to continuing with this one. I read The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Oh my goodness, I love this. We're following this teenage girl called Xiomara, and she is fierce, you know. She lives in a really religious home. Her mom is really religious to the extreme, so she's kind of rebelling against that because she doesn't believe. She's got a lot of questions about things, and she wants to be a poet, and her poetry is not really well seen by her mother, so she is trying to find herself. This is definitely a coming of age story, and it's just so beautiful. A lot of the poems written really resonated with me. Like, I honestly was like listening to the audiobook, and I just had to be like, just had to stop the world just to listen, because it was really, really well done. The last thing that I read is the 6th book in a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket, the Ersatz Elevator. I am enjoying this book so much. I buddy read this with Rachel from Let Me in the Library, and we had, well, at least I had a really great time. Buddy reading and going back and forth with ideas and thoughts with her was actually so much fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now, I read only 9 books, but if you go into my Goodreads, go into currently reading, I have 12 books there, and a couple others that are not in my Goodreads because I'm just bad at keeping up with it, like I said. But some of the books that I kind of want to DNF. Blood of Wonderland. This is the 2nd book in the Queen of Hearts trilogy by Colleen. I read the first one. I was really not impressed with it, but I thought it was going to be getting better and getting darker to form, you know, the Queen of Hearts. But it really didn't. This book, I feel like I'm halfway through it and I feel like nothing is happening. So maybe time to DNF this one. What else? Maurice by E.M Forster. I started this like at the beginning of the month. I am halfway through it. I stopped reading it. I haven't picked it up. I don't know if I'm loving the writing style. I'm really enjoying the story, but the writing style is a little bit rush for me. I don't know, I feel like this was a really bad month, especially because I started reading and I would not finish the books, and I don't know if I want to completely DNF them or just put them on hold for a little bit and see if I can finish them off. I also started reading Sommerlot by Stephen King, but I didn't finish any Stephen King books, which is awful because I try to at least read one every single month, but I will definitely continue with this. I've only read a couple of chapters, so not really great. And then The Bazaar of Bad Dreams, which is a collection of short stories. I was trying to read one before going to sleep, and I only read like 2 or 3, so I'm not doing great this month. So yeah, this is the books that I read and currently reading. Yeah, what were you reading this month? How was your reading going? Hopefully you've been having better wrap-ups than I do, because thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you give this thumbs up if you enjoyed this. If you want to watch more bookish content and more book reviews, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and I will see you readers on my next video. Bye!